Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives more cables of greetings on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr celebrations continue in the governorates of the Sultanate. And the UN Special Envoy to Yemen arrives in Sana'a to discuss the intensifying situation in Hodeidah. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received more cables of greetings on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Fitr from a number of prime ministers, presidents, senior officials from Arab and Islamic states, their highnesses and their excellencies, ministers and advisors, leaders of the Sultan Armed Forces, the Royal Oman Police and other security apparatus. Honorable members of state councils, their excellencies, Shura Council members, undersecretaries, their excellencies, Omani ambassadors abroad, Arab and Islamic countries ambassadors accredited to the Sultanate, heads of diplomatic missions, representatives of international organizations and authorities, countries, sheikhs, dignitaries and citizens. The leaders expressed their warm greetings along with their best wishes to His Majesty the Sultan, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty and grant him good health, happiness and long life to achieve the aspirations of further progress and prosperity for the Omani people, praying to Almighty to return such occasion on His Majesty, the Omani people and Arab and Islamic nations with glory and success. His Majesty the Sultan expressed his sincere greetings along with his best wishes of good health, happiness and long life to the well-wishers of further progress and prosperity, praying to Almighty Allah to bestow His blessings and bounties on all Muslims and endow them with security, peace and stability. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Gudni Johannesson of Iceland on his country's National Day. The Sultanate has unique distinctive aspects during Eid days. In Oman, the Eid is prevailed by smiles on the faces of children and the grown-ups alike. During the celebrations, people wear their new clothes and they venture out celebrating the Eid, greeting family members and neighbors with feeling of solidarity, love and closeness. People gather to have meals specially prepared for the occasion, topped by arsiya, Omani halwa and other dishes. They also prepare shua or underground barbecue meat and mashakik or meat skewers, which gather all family members and the neighbors to cooperate. People wish each other happy Eid and many returns of the occasion during all Eid holidays. These celebrations in some wilayats are also accompanied by Omani traditional singing arts performed by the local bands. Social media channels reflected the beauty of the happy Eid in various governorates of the Sultanate through many photos and tweets. Some tweets were embodied in a hashtag in Arabic under the title An Omani Photo in Eid. It depicted through various photos the features and traditions associated with Eid in various wilayats of the Sultanate, such as Eid prayer, Eid food dishes, traditional arts performed during Eid days, and tourist sites. The hashtag showcased the joy associated with this great occasion through photos taken by citizens by their cameras or phone cameras. Al-Razha art is one of the most famous traditional arts which are performed during national occasions. As part of their tardiness and celebration of Eid al-Fitr, citizens of the wilaya of Dama wa Ta'in in the governorate of Nur Sharqiya performed this traditional art. It embodies the meanings of pride and courage. It also expresses the feelings of joy and love for the homeland. Al-Razha is performed in every village of the wilaya during Eid days. The Royal Cavalry won the first place in the competition of the International DR race in the British Newbury race course, which is assigned for the first category of horses. This came after the horse Al Shami achieved the first place in the 1,200-meter long race with the participation of a number of Arab purebred horses. This achievement came as continuation of the outstanding results achieved by the Royal Cavalry in international horse races competitions. Still to come in our news bulletin. As part of their rehabilitation, inmates at a Kenyan prison play their own version of the World Cup. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Arab coalition forces heading an assault on Yemen rebel-held port city of Hodeidah seized control of its international airport today as fierce fighting continued for the starving nation's main gateway for food shipments. Officials loyal to Yemen's government said engineers worked to clear mines from areas around Hodeidah International Airport, just south of the city of some 600,000 people on the Red Sea. Spokesman of the Republican Guards force loyal to the Saudis said government forces had battled onto the airport grounds. He also said the southern gate of Hodeidah city was captured by pro-coalition forces. The UN Special Envoy to Yemen, Martin Griffiths, arrived in the Yemeni capital Sana'a today to discuss the intensifying situation in Hodeidah. The United Nations fears the fighting will cut off the only lifeline for millions of Yemenis facing starvation. Fighting has led to the closure of the northern entrance of Hodeidah, which leads to Sana'a, and has blocked a key exit out of the city and made it more difficult to transport goods from the port, the country's largest, to mountainous regions. The battle for Hodeidah could have ramifications beyond the city of 600,000. It could trigger a famine, imperiling millions of lives, the UN has warned. Around 22 million Yemenis depend on aid and 8.4 million are at immediate risk of starvation. France needed the help of the first World Cup penalty awarded after a video review and a deflected Paul Pogba goal to get their World Cup campaign underway with a scrappy 2-1 win over Australia. Striker Antoine Griezmann lashed home the historic spot kick in the 58th minute, but Australia hit back with a penalty of their own when Samuel Umtiti inexplicably handled the ball in the box 4 minutes later. Socceroos skipper Mile Jednik sent his French counterpart Hugo Lloris the wrong way from the spot to give Australia hope of forcing a draw at the Kazan Arena, only for Pogba to grab the winner in the 81st minute. Host nation Russia beat Saudi Arabia 5-0 at the opening match of the World Cup on Thursday, exactly mirroring the scoreline of a match played on a dirt pitch in a jail in Africa thousands of miles away. As part of their rehabilitation, inmates at Kamiti Maximum Security Prison in rural Kenya are playing their own version of the soccer tournament with teams named after the countries competing at the real thing. In Thursday's opener, watched from the sidelines by inmates in blue and white striped uniforms, Russia beat Saudi Arabia 5-0, the same score marked up hours later by the real teams in Moscow. A volunteer said the idea was to use the interest in the World Cup to bring inmates together for a positive experience. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of dust raising wind over the governorates of Brahimi, Dhahira and Wusta. Winds will be most northwesterly light to moderate, while seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos receives more cables of greetings on the occasion of the blessed Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr celebrations continue in the governorates of the Sultanate. And the UN Special Envoy to Yemen arrives in Sana'a to discuss the intensifying situation in Hodeidah. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and Eid Mubarak.